Katz and Cosby, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Let's go to General Jack Keane, of course, retired four-star general, also head of the Institutes of the Study of War and senior strategic analyst at Fox News. And we love him. General Jack Keane, what do you make of these new details that are coming out with this memorandum of understanding that's going to be signed, it looks like, on Friday?
Yeah, well, it looks like we're finally getting a copy of it. And obviously it's much more of a general framework document. I thought there would likely be more details in it. There's, to me, my gut reaction to it, it's more about what's not in there than what is in it. Because there's no reference at all to ballistic missile restrictions or restrictions on support to proxies, enforced compliance, anywhere, anytime inspections in terms of verification, what the intent would be for the nuclear program, other than the Iranians are saying they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. Well, they've been saying that, for 30-something years of the 47 years they've been in existence. At the same time, they're saying that they've been producing a nuclear weapon. So those are empty words. So it's really, as it was advertised, a general framework document, and I was really expecting a little bit more meat on the bone, so to speak, than that. So it's really going to be the next 60 days is going to be telling. And what's been leaking in the media, Rita and John, recently is really, when you think about what was said, is on negotiating positions and some of the concessions that may have already been made in negotiating positions to get this document signed. And certainly Iran was putting out their version of it, which, I just completely discarded. But what got my attention yesterday was that media colleagues who I have faith in had significant sources in the White House who were expressing concerns about the positions that our negotiators were taking to get these concessions, and some of that was quite alarming, and that got a little bit more reaction because of who the sources were, not named, of course, but they were White House officials, who were expressing some concern. It's one thing for Iran to be propagandizing and spinning things, which they always do. It's quite something else.
Yes, it's on both sides of the fence.
People in the administration doing it.
It's happening in Washington and it's happening in Iran. Iran has two sides, and both sides are telling their own story. And the White House has a couple of sides, and they're secretly putting out their own crap.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
The one thing, General, me and you, we tell the truth. That's what's happening.
Yeah, well, a couple of New Yorkers here. That's the way we were raised. The good news is the other New Yorker happens to be president.
Yep. The B-52. Any word on what happened, General?
Say again.
The B-52. What happened?
Did you hear Edwards?
I don't have any knowledge of
all right, leave it alone. Let's move on. Next subject.
Yeah. So, General, before we let you go, where is this going to go from here? Because, like you said, there's a lot of vagueness, and the question is the 60-day period that really is going to be the test, right? And it's going to have these verifications. It's going to have the confirmations, and it's going to have anytime inspections. Obviously, it sounds like there's a lot more meat on the bone that needs to be there.
Yeah, for sure, Rita. Well, 60 days, and then the document says that they can negotiate mutually an extension to that, and that'll be where the Iranians are. I mean, look, we've been at negotiations for over 60 days. We went to a ceasefire on April the 8th. the intent was in 2 weeks they would open up the Straits of Hormuz, and that's what motivated us to go to the ceasefire. So here we are, 2 months plus, and now we've finally getting around to opening up the Straits of Hormuz after the document is signed officially on Friday, I think it is, and released. The president said today he's going to take the time and read the 14 points in the document publicly, I guess when he gets home here on Friday, to make certain that everybody understands, what's in the document, given all the different views of what is and what isn't in that document. But yeah, it's the beginning of a process, Rita. When you see, given what these 14 points are, we're a long way from accomplishing the objectives that the president wants to accomplish here with the Iranians. And obviously, my preferred option was to finish what we started and not to go to the ceasefire. But listen, there's no sense dealing with that.
That's in the breaking news. Maybe you should tell the general that.
Okay, here's some breaking news. Mike Huckabee. Well, wait a minute. Hang on one second. I want to be careful, just because of the source. Yes. Actually, we'll get back to you on this. Okay, we'll get back to you on this. Okay.
And the other, there's going to be some issues. I think. So we're at the beginning of a process that's going to take some time here for sure. And some tough negotiating is going to take place here. And listen, I still think that it is a likelihood that we will go back to some measure of combat operations. And why do I say that? Well, just last week, the president executed 2 bombing missions, one each night, a number of attacks each night to force what? To force the Iranians into making this deal with the General Framework Agreement.
I heard
and he was
we knocked
threatening
out
the
some
third.
majors and some colonels from the from the Iranian force.
Yeah. So there's going to be some pushback from the Iranians here. Listen, we know who the Iranians are. You can't trust them. And I know there's people thinking that maybe they're going to change their behavior because of all the pressure on them. I don't think that's going to happen whatsoever. They're going to see what we're doing here is something of a victory for themselves because the war is not continuing. Shutting down the straits, they got a ceasefire. Now they're moving towards a final agreement, and they're going to delay that as much as possible, believing that the closer we get to the midterms, the less likelihood the president would return to military operations. I think that's unfounded based on the evidence that he displayed last week, and they miscalculated time and time again about him, in my view. But nonetheless, I mean, there's some tough work ahead to get out of here. Clearly, what the president wants into his maximalist objectives achieved here. The Iranians will arm twist us against doing that, for sure, and they will drag out the process, for sure.
Well, but I trust the president, General. I do trust the president, and he's one smart guy, and he's a deal maker, but I am sure he is not afraid to go in there and kick butt again. And he's not going to kick civilian butt; he's going to kick the butt of the Iranian force.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. and he has said as much, John.
Yes. Yep, absolutely. Yep. General, thank you so much. General Jack Keane, thank you. We appreciate it so much.
Let's go to Alan Dershowitz.
Yeah, great talking to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.